In this video, I'm going to sort of play some tricks working with Excel and Word. But my ultimate goal is I want to take this data that's on the web and in a table format, and I want to get it into the format of a vector in R programming. And so that's going to be numbers separated by commas. And right now they're in uh, columns and rows of a table. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is just highlight this table. Always try to make sure when you're copying a table that you don't sort of stray outside the table and you stay inside the table. And then right click and choose copy. Okay. And now I'm bringing this over to Excel because Excel, I only really want the numbers. I just want to analyze the data and get medians and modes, or probably not modes, but medians and means, and do a box plot. But um, but the table had the country names. So one thing I want to do with Excel is get rid of that second column. So I'm going to paste. I'm going to choose the match destination formatting because otherwise the country names, I'm going to get rid of the country names anyway, but the country names are going to come over as links and I don't want that. So I will match the destination, make it a little cleaner. And then we get all of these pound signs or hashtags or number signs, whatever you call them. I'm just going to click up here in this sort of between the A and the 1, and that highlights everything. And then I'm going to come here between the A and B and double click when I get a double-headed arrow, and that just spreads it out. That did nothing other than, make the columns wide enough. So there's some country with a long name down below, or maybe two countries combined. Um, and then here are the populations. So as I move to the next phase, I'm just going to copy column B. So one thing that Excel does well for me is to allow me to choose columns, choose rows, things like that. Um, but one thing I want to do is we see here that I have right now the numbers are formatted with commas, and that's going to be a problem because over in R, our goal, it's the commas are going to separate one number from the next, and so I don't want commas within the number. So I'm going to highlight column B here, the column with the numbers, and I'm going to right click and choose to format the cells. And here's this dialog box and pops up. I'm going to choose number. And right now, this use 1000 separator comma is unchecked, even though the numbers do have the commas. But these numbers were not originally generated in Excel; they were copied over. So it's sort of a little confused at this point. So I'm going to uh, check it and then uncheck it, and that will take them away. So now I have extra decimal places, which I could have gotten rid of. I think do that. Two decimal places. Let me say none. Okay. All right. So now I have the numbers. I don't have the commas. I'm going to only highlight the column B here. And I'm going to copy that. And now I'm going to move over to Word. There's probably a better way, but this is just, these things work. I know they can work in Word and Excel, and I use Word and Excel a lot, so I'm familiar enough with them. I'm going to paste over here. Now, paste there are about 5 versions of paste, maybe even more, and we have to pick the right paste. And all I want this to be is like numbers each on their own line. I don't want a table structure. I'm trying to get rid of the table structure. So I'm going to choose the last paste here, the keep text only version of paste. There we go. So now I have just all those numbers, each one on its own line. So, okay. And so here I am in Word with the data. Each data point is on a line by itself, no commas. Okay. And what do I want to do here? I'm going to hit this little show hide the paragraph marks, and it would give me other punctuation as well, but it's all these sort of paragraph marks. Okay. And I'm just going to undo it. So that's what I have, some paragraph mark. And so I'm going to come over under home, and I am looking for, do I have it wide enough? Um, don't want the Excel, I want the Word, and I am looking for editing. There we go. So under editing is find and replace. That's what I want. So it was under the home tab, hidden under editing in this example. Okay, here sometimes you can see these menu items right away. This time they're hidden under editing. I'm going to do replace. So I get this find and replace dialog. I want more, and I want special, and then I want a paragraph mark. Now there are various things here: paragraph mark, paragraph character. The paragraph mark works. And if it didn't work, then I would try the paragraph character. But I'm going to try the paragraph mark here. Okay, it puts in this little caret P. So if I know that, maybe I could just type caret P. But I usually go through the more and the special. Okay, and what do I want to replace that with? I want between, so right now each number is separated on a new line, so it's separated by this paragraph character, um, paragraph mark, they're calling it, and I want it separated by a comma, and then I'm going to throw a space in there to give myself a little bit of room. And then I'm going to say replace all. And it made 75 replacements for me. Thank you. Okay, close that. And now I'm almost in the form I want. So I'm just going to I'm going to throw out 2025. I'm going to keep population as, I guess, the name of my vector. I'm going to get rid of that comma. I'm going to say equal. I'm going to have a little c. That's what we use in R to represent that we're starting a vector. And then come down here, get rid of that last comma, and close the parenthesis to sort of close off the vector. So now I have it in the format I want for R. Copy that. Then I'm going over to R. I've already sort of started some R script. I'm going to paste that in. There we go. Now it's all on one line, which is okay. I could do put in some return characters and get it on another line. And let me get a new line. So I haven't run that data yet, so I don't have it over here in my environment. But what do I want to do? I'm going to make first a box plot of it, box and whiskers plot, which is box plot in R and population. And it starts to, after you start to type something, it gives you some hints, and spelling's important. So when it provides the hint, take it. All right, so let's run those two. Enter the data that we formatted properly to be an vector in R, and then make a box plot of that data. Let's run. Okay. And now here is this graph, and I could title it and such, and I'm not going to do that here. But what I want to just look at this data. This was my main goal, just to get the data over here in the correct format to be an R vector. But one thing we see here is lots of outliers. So this box and whisker showed me that this is really spread out. So there are lots of countries with populations that are less than these big ones. So I think it's the United States and Japan, and I forget what's next, Germany. Okay. So, and let's just do two more statistics things while we have this data. When you have these outliers, then the median and the mean can be quite different. So let me put that in the median. Let me call that the average. And over here, I'll call it the middle. and that'll do the median of this population. Let me just run those two and just get these two values to show that they are quite different, that the average is much larger than the middle, has an extra decimal place. So it's about 3 times larger or something. That's just the nature of such a distribution. That's all I wanted to do with this one. Thanks for your attention.